When I'm an adult, I know that person is a bad person, right? But subconsciously, I'm drawn to that person. And this is one of the main reasons why we have seen in movies and shows that why women are attracted towards bad boys because of their fathers.
हमें कोई इंसान फेमिलियर लगता है तो भी प्यार हो जाता है, किसी के साथ केमिस्ट्री होती है तो भी प्यार हो जाता है, कंपैटिबिलिटी होती है तो भी प्यार हो जाता है. तो पता कैसे चलेगा कि किस ऑर्डर में इन चीज़ों को वर्क अराउंड करना है? क्या तीनों ही इंपॉर्टेंट है?
कि हमें जैसे मूवीज़ में दिखाते हैं, एक नज़र में देखा, ठंडी हवा चल रही है, धीरे धीरे चल रही है और हमें प्यार हो गया. प्यार ऐसे नहीं हो सकता. प्यार के लिए नीड टू स्पेंड सम टाइम, राइट? प्यार इज़ लाइक हैबिट.
बहुत सारे लोग जो नार्सिसिस्टिक लोगों से अट्रैक्ट होते हैं, डू यू थिंक दे फाइंड स्टेबल healthy relationships as boring? Is their nervous system looking for some kind of a chase, some kind of a hunt, some kind of a reward that they get after being with a narcissistic person? हम दूसरे इंसान को इतना जल्दी लेबल दे देते हैं, हमें लगता है कि उन्होंने मेरी पूरी आइडेंटिटी छीन लिया, उन्होंने मेरे पूरा अपने रिलेशनशिप में एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया. बट हम ये सवाल खुद से नहीं उठाते कि मेरी एक्चुअल आइडेंटिटी है भी क्या.
So we need to get away from these people. This is not healthy at all, and there is no way of justifying it as well. But we want that person to behave in the perfect Purushottam Ram manner or the Sati Savitri manner. We want our partners to behave that way, but we do not want to change ourselves instantly. If you're giving me so much attention, so much love, so this is the wrong thing that happens in every relationship also, in even the marriage also. You're continuously on the call, you're driving the car, going to office, you're on calls. So you will get bored out of each other after a passage of time.
Then butterflies are actually like
A sign of anxiety.
what is that one relationship behavior people call love, but as a psychologist you would actually call it trauma?
Obsession.
Namaste and welcome to the Journey Within podcast with me, Shobha Rana. I am a heartbreak and divorce coach, and in this podcast now, we are slightly shifting our conversations to focus more on relationships, because over the course of last 200 episodes and over the course of my 10 plus years of coaching, I have experienced that relationships is one area where people face the most challenges, and also the most joy that comes is out of this particular area of life. So in today's episode, we will be talking about relationships, of course. We'll be talking about the idea of love, the healthy love, what happens when you are in a toxic relationship, what is a toxic partner, what is a narcissist partner, how do you come to know of your own narcissism, what are the initial steps that you can take to reclaim your own identity in a relationship where you feel lost. These are some really important questions, and we have tried creating breakthroughs for you in this conversation. We have tried creating solutions and frameworks in a manner that you can apply them in your life right after you finish listening to this conversation. So listen till the very end, and subscribe to the channel if you like the idea of our podcast. Like, comment and share so that this conversation reaches out to more people like you. About our today's guest, we have Dr. Tarun Malik. He is a counseling psychologist who specializes in the space of trauma, childhood wounds and narcissism. And he's bringing his decade-long experience to educate us more about relationships. Let's get into this conversation. Dr. Tarun, after coaching people for several years in the space of heartbreak and divorce, there is an observation that I have seen. Commonly लोगों को पता होता है कि वो relationship उनके लिए सही नहीं था, and yet they chose to be in that relationship. When they come to me, they hardly come with the question that मुझे पता नहीं क्या हो गया suddenly. They say that looking back, I knew something wasn't right for me. So from a psychology perspective, what happens to people when they ignore such signs? Because these are not weak people. These are not unintelligent people. These are often intelligent, aware people जिनको सब पता है क्या हो रहा है, जिनको signs भी दिख रहे हैं. And yet, they are not able to protect themselves from that relationship. And they spend years in that relationship. What's really happening in this situation?
Right. The thing is, we are drawn to familiarity. Subconsciously, we are drawn to familiar structure. If my childhood has been quite toxic, then I will be subconsciously drawn to toxic people. If my childhood had been quite good, I would be subconsciously drawn to good people. तो यहाँ पे हमारी जो upbringing है that plays a vital role. How if suppose during my childhood days my parents neglected me a lot, or I used to do a lot of chores in order to get some sort of attention or love from them. Simply, if I put it, my parents were toxic. And because of that toxic environment, I subconsciously grew comfortable with toxicity. When I'm an adult, I know that person is a bad person, right? But subconsciously, I'm drawn to that person. And this is one of the main reasons why we have seen in movies and shows that why women are attracted towards bad boys because of their fathers.
Oh my God. If I bring this question into Indian context, most of our families where we grew up were toxic, not from the standpoint of using the word toxic lightly, but only from how we have evolved as a society. See, we are a society where patriarchy has been so deeply rooted. सारी दुनिया में ही है, but particularly in India, there are so many things that we had to fight for in our homes. So not necessarily your parents were bad people, but they had these borderline toxic traits जिससे हम बहुत सारे लोग बड़े हुए हैं. तो क्या ये सभी लोग जो अब toxic word को बहुत loosely lightly use कर रहे हैं, do you think all of them are getting into these kind of relationship which are toxic primarily?
Not all. Not all, but mostly they are. There is a percentage of people who purposefully get into this relationship out of revenge. Revenge either from themselves or from their family, because they want to show that, see, you have done wrong to me, and because of this I am doing this. I'm choosing this guy, or I'm choosing this girl because you said no to that person. So how dare you refuse to me? So out of revenge they are doing it. But the major percentage of the people, they are drawn to them. On the very first date also, suppose it's a love marriage. Let's say they are married now. It's a love marriage. On the very first date also, subconsciously, intuitively, there's a thought, an inner voice. See, that guy is not a good guy. That girl is a red flag. But we ignore all that because of, well, love makes us blind. So on the very first day, it's not love, it's infatuation. Yes, I agree. But we choose to ignore that. And because of that choice, we are now suffering. So we are suffering, and we say that I have done everything good in this relationship. Then why do I get all the bad people in my life? We will continue to attract bad people. Why? Because there's a very famous quotation lately circulating on social media also, that your vibe attracts your tribe. What is this, your vibe? It means your mentality, the kind of ideas, the kind of emotions you experience on a regular basis. So this is the subconscious mechanism of mine that I have not yet healed out of that toxic comfort, and that is why I'm choosing the same comfort in toxic people, and hence I end up choosing narcissist people, manipulators, gaslighters. I end up with these individuals.
So is it safe to say that I am not choosing my partner cognitively with my intelligence, but the choice is happening from my subconscious patterns? Intelligently, I know this is not right for me, but because my subconscious wiring is so now fixed that it's impossible for me to give in to my own intuition and my intelligence, right? So is it safe to say this?
Absolutely, it is safe because of the patterns. Now that is like when we were small, when we were children, our cognitive learning or our subconscious growth was like a wet cement. Whatever was falling on it was making an impression. So what we can do on that particular block of cement? We need to break it, and we need to create a new layer, or we need to overlap. Overlapping is not advisable. Why? It might be suitable for some, it might be not suitable for some. So we need to break. So this is what we call in our psychological therapies also, or hypnotherapy also, reprogramming of the subconscious mind.
So basically complete reconstruction of who you were. Basically two different identities. One identity is who you were, how you grew up, what your patterns are, what you inherited from the family culture, the time you were born in, and all of that. And the other thing is reconstructing this whole identity to become a new identity now, which is more aware, which is more in touch with their own reality rather than giving into let's say hope. क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं उनको लगता है होपफुल रहते हैं कि चीज़ें बेटर हो जाएंगी, पता भी होता है कि नहीं ये सही नहीं चल रहा है, प्रेजेंट सही नहीं है और कुछ टाइम से इस रिलेशनशिप में है और नहीं है सही, बट फिर भी उसमें चलते रहते हैं क्योंकि एक होप रहती है कि थिंग्स विल चेंज और समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो दिस लाइक रिकंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ एन कंप्लीट आइडेंटिटी. फिर एक शब्द आपने सबसे पहले यूज़ किया था एंड दैट वाज फेमिलियरिटी. हेल्प मी एक्सप्लेन, help me understand the difference between familiarity, chemistry and compatibility.
Let us start with the third word first, compatibility. You won't be able to feel compatible with a person on the very first date, right? हमें थोड़ा टाइम स्पेंड करना पड़ेगा. पहले let us assume a very good relationship. Back in the day, एक arranged marriage हुई है. Now they are spending some time together. एक दूसरे को जान रहे हैं, एक दूसरे की वीकनेसेस को समझ रहे हैं, एक दूसरे की स्ट्रेंथ को समझ रहे हैं. उसके बाद कंपैटिबिलिटी बाहर निकल कर आती है. सो इन ऑर्डर टू बी कंपैटिबल यू नीड टू स्पेंड सम टाइम, राइट? नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द केमिस्ट्री पार्ट. लेट मी गो विद द सेकंड वर्ड नाउ. What is this chemistry? It is whatever kind of likes or dislikes I have, you also might be having similar kind of likes and dislikes. Not everything has to be like compatible in this regard. कुछ चीज़ें आपको वैसी पसंद है, जैसे आपको घूमना पसंद है, मुझे कार ड्राइविंग पसंद है, होगी केमिस्ट्री मैच, राइट? आपको घूमने का शौक है, मुझे उसका अब आउटिंग का शौक है. अच्छा, आपको लॉन्ज में जाना पसंद है, मुझे वैसे बाहर जाना पसंद है, तो ये केमिस्ट्री होगी. वी आर नॉट हैविंग आइडेंटिकल लाइक्स एंड डिसलाइक्स, बट कुछ चीज़ें सिमिलर हैं. दैट इज़ लाइक क्रिएटिंग अ गुड केमिस्ट्री, क्योंकि वहाँ पे वी आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड ईच अदर नॉन वर्बली ऑल्सो. यू डोंट नीड टू कम्युनिकेट ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. Some things are understood by default. अब ये understood कहाँ से हुआ? When you spend some time together. Time तो देना पड़ेगा. Then now we are coming on to the first part, familiarity. Now this happens instantly. When we meet somebody, it always happens. See, let us talk it from the spiritual perspective also and from a psychological narrative as well. Psychologically, we observe the body language of a person, right? Our subconscious mind is observing their body language without letting us know consciously, and we are making some sort of opinions about that person in our own mind, positive or negative. ये साइकोलॉजिकल नैरेटिव हो गया. बट अगर हम स्पिरिचुअलिटी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बात करते हैं तो उसकी वाइब्रेशंस हैं, उसकी एनर्जीज़ हैं जो मेरे ऑरा में आके मिक्स हो रही है, तो अलाइन हो रही है, तो आई एम वेरी कंफर्टेबल विद द पर्सन. और अगर वहाँ पे अट्रैक्ट वो टकरा रही हैं, इसका मतलब अब थोड़ा कुछ ये है कि मेरी जो एनर्जीज़ हैं, मेरी जो वाइब्रेशंस हैं, दे आर नॉट सिमिलर टू योर्स. हैंस वो जो एक आ जाता है फैमिलियरिटी वाली पैटर्न वाली बात, वो यहाँ पर मैच नहीं कर रही है. तो दोनों नैरेटिव्स हैं. तो बॉडी लैंग्वेज के थ्रू वी आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ पर्सन दैट इज़, एंड फ्रॉम दैट नैरेटिव वी कैन से दैट फैमिलियरिटी कम्स इनटू एक्शन. नाउ वंस दे स्टार्ट टॉकिंग विद अस, लाइक सपोज फॉर एग्जाम्पल दे आर डूइंग अ लॉट ऑफ लव बॉम्बिंग. When we were small, we used to get the same kind of love bombing from the parents also, or from the family members. And after their purpose was fulfilled, they have ignored us. Now this person is also doing the same thing. अरे कितना familiarity हो गई है, वहाँ पे चीज़ आ गई. तो this is how these three things are different from each other.
लेकिन इन तीनों चीज़ों का सबसे ज़्यादा एक तो इनमें से इम्पॉर्टेंट क्या है? पता कैसे चलेगा कि ये चीज़ें कैसे प्ले आउट करेंगी? बिकॉज वी ऑफन कन्फ्यूज बिटवीन द थ्री. हमें कोई इंसान फेमिलियर लगता है तो भी प्यार हो जाता है, किसी के साथ केमिस्ट्री होती है तो भी प्यार हो जाता है, कंपैटिबिलिटी होती है तो भी प्यार हो जाता है. तो पता कैसे चलेगा कि किस ऑर्डर में इन चीज़ों को वर्क अराउंड करना है? क्या तीनों ही इंपॉर्टेंट है या फिर कोई एक चीज़ है जो ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है जिसको हमें ज़्यादा बारीकी से देखने की ज़रूरत है? हाउ डज दिस होल प्ले आउट?
राइट. ये प्यार वर्ड को ना इतना ज़्यादा हमने ओवर रोमेंटिसाइज कर दिया है थ्रू मूवीज़ एंड ऑल, कि हमें जैसे मूवीज़ में दिखाते हैं, एक नज़र में देखा, ठंडी हवा चल रही है, धीरे धीरे चल रही है और हमें प्यार हो गया. प्यार ऐसे नहीं हो सकता. प्यार के लिए नीड टू स्पेंड सम टाइम, राइट? प्यार इज़ लाइक हैबिट. हैबिट इक्वल्स टू लव ओनली, कुछ और नहीं है लव. हैबिट होगी तो प्यार हो गया. इफ़ यू कंटिन्यू टू ड्राइव एवरी डे, यू आर लविंग ड्राइविंग, राइट? इफ़ यू एन्जॉय द ड्राइविंग पार्ट, वही चीज़ यहाँ पर भी है. बट अगर मैं यहाँ पे इस तरीके से बात करता हूँ कि फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से फैमिलियरिटी की बात होती है, केमिस्ट्री की बात होती है, कंपैटिबिलिटी की बात होती है. हाउ कैन आई फॉल इन लव विद समबडी who is like a stranger to me? I need to understand, see, if that person is able to respect my boundaries and I am able to respect their boundaries. Respect is the backbone or the root structure for love. Without respect, love is fake. There is no love. That is like an imposition. वो love नहीं है. If I can't respect my partner, bloody I don't deserve to love that person also. और ये हमें पता कैसे चलेगा? Through certain gestures. Like, how much time are they giving you? Like, are they always available? It's a big red flag. क्या भाई कुछ काम नहीं है आपको? आपकी खुद की लाइफ नहीं है. Why are you giving me so much attention? And if I am demanding so much attention, I am a red flag. So these are certain small gestures. Agar, if suppose I am not responding to that person instantly whenever they are texting me or leaving a message, and I'm taking my time because I might be occupied, and they are assuming that I am now upset over them and I want to break up. So it is something which they need to work on themselves. And if I'm ignoring this part and continue to be with them, it means I am ignoring those red flags because this is a familiar structure which has happened with me in the past also. Not specifically only during childhood. क्या पता पिछले एक्स ने किसी ने दिया हो, किसी एक दो एक्स ने लगातार दिया हो, उससे हम थोड़े कंफर्टेबल से हो गए सबकॉन्शियस लेवल पे. कॉन्शियसली वी फाइंड इट डिस्गस्टिंग, बट सबकॉन्शियसली फैमिलियरिटी भी तो यही है. तो वो चीज़ आ जाते हैं यहाँ पे. यू नीड टू रिस्पेक्ट. इफ़ वी कांट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज़ द मीनिंग ऑफ रिस्पेक्ट, देन वी नीड टू रिसर्च ऑन दिस टॉपिक ऑल्सो. रिस्पेक्ट सिंपल सा आ जाता है, आपकी चॉइसेस आपकी लाइफ को लेके दे आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. आपका काम ऐसा है, यू माइट नॉट बी एबल टू गिव टाइम टू देम in 1 or 2 days also. On the third day you might be available, and if they have a problem with that, it means they are not able to understand you and they won't be compatible with you in the longer run. आगे जाके they are going to bring this particular issue into the conflict that because you're not giving me some time, I am leaving you. भाई पहले भी तो नहीं दे रहे थे टाइम, तो पहले क्यों साथ रहे? पता था ना आपको कि my schedule is like this, still you continue to be with me. Why? Because hope.
That's what I was saying, self protection versus hope.
Right.
कि हमें पता है हमें खुद को प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहिए, बट स्टिल दिस होप को वी गिव मोर वैल्यू कि कुछ बेटर हो जाएगा. बिकॉज आई थिंक समवेयर वी आर ऑलवेज सीकिंग दैट बिलोंगिंगनेस. हमें हमेशा कोई तो चाहिए होता है जहाँ से हमें एक एक्सक्लूसिव अटेंशन मिले. वी फील वर्दी, वी फील लव्ड, वी फील स्पेशल, एंड फॉर दैट वी कीप दिस होप higher than what it should be, than self protection, right? एक और चीज़ जो आपने बीच में कही वो ये कही कि शुरुआत से लोगों को पता होता है कि इस रिलेशनशिप में मुझे नहीं रहना चाहिए, इस रिलेशनशिप में ये चीज़ गलत हो रही है. बट यू नो ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी मेरे ऑब्जर्वेशन में क्या आया है, द पीपल दैट आई हैव वर्कड विद, one most common issue that comes to me that when I do especially the couples coaching, that he is not like how he was in the beginning. This is the classic problem that I face as a coach, है ना? The way he expresses his love, the way he behaves now, the way he gives me time, the way he values our relationship is not like before, is not like the beginning. You know, पहले 2 साल में या पहले 1 साल में या पहले 6 महीने में ऐसा ऐसा था और अब ये बिल्कुल बदल गए हैं, is one statement that I constantly hear from all my clients. What's happening here?
Right. एक हिंदी में कहावत होती है, ताली 2 हाथ से नहीं बजती. Right? So it is not always the case that only one person is at fault. Maybe that person might be 90% at fault, but दूसरे का भी 10% वहाँ आता है. Let me start with this point. Earlier you used to show me this much love, अब वो love नहीं रहा. अब यहाँ मैं एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ थोड़े दूसरे नैरेटिव से. Suppose a girl and a boy, they are dating now. So they are going on a longer drive, एक long drive पे जा रहे हैं और वहाँ पे suppose somebody cuts the lane of their car and the guy suddenly is like तेरी माँ की तेरी बहन की starts abusing the person, not by rolling down the window, but he is inside, but he's assuming.
He is basically angry and aggressive
Yes.
about it.
Absolutely. And the girl is like, wow, he's so aggressive, he's such a man. Like, now that...
Do you think those girls, people really think like this?
Not all.
Yeah.
But those who complain that my partner has changed, they do.
Wow.
So they sometimes identify such red flags as a good like indication or a sign of a good man or a woman, whatever the case might be.
Macho-ness.
Yes. Because as I have stated multiple times in this video already, because of their childhood conditioning. So initially, this particular thing was like very attractive, very tempting for them, right? And after some time, if somebody who is abusing somebody else, who is a stranger to them, they will be very much comfortable to abuse somebody who is known to them. So if they will start abusing you, now you are like, you have changed. तुम बदल गए हो. वो नहीं बदला है. Your hope has died now.
मुझे कैसा लगता है, जो मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया है अपने एक्सपीरियंस में, हम लोगों की एक चाइल्डहुड कंडीशनिंग होती है फेयरनेस देखने की चीज़ों में, कि फेयर होना चाहिए, राइट? सो इन दिस एग्जाम्पल, व्हेन यू आर ड्राइविंग विद योर पार्टनर एंड समबडी कट्स योर लेन, तो आपको लगता है इफ़ माई पार्टनर इज शाउटिंग, अगर गाली नहीं भी दे रहे, बस चिल्ला रहे हैं, अपसेट हो रहे हैं, एंग्री हो रहे हैं, तो ये साइन है दैट ही इज़ डिमांडिंग फेयरनेस इन अ वे, कि ठीक है उनको गुस्सा आ गया लेकिन वो फेयरनेस चाह रहे हैं कि नहीं, ये तो गलत बात है ना, किसी ने हमारी लेन क्यों काटी, इनको ड्राइविंग नहीं आती, सही तो बोल रहे हैं. दिस इज़ हाउ यू नॉर्मलाइज एन एंग्री और अग्रेसिव बिहेवियर. आई फील दैट इट इज़ नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट कि बाहर से क्या हो रहा है, एक्सटर्नल ट्रिगर क्या है, वो सही भी हो सकता है, गलत भी हो सकता है, बट हाउ यू आर रिस्पॉन्डिंग टू इट, दैट इज़ समथिंग टू चेक फॉर अ पर्सन. एक क्लासिक एग्जाम्पल जो लोग देते हैं, जो हमारी साइकोलॉजी बुक्स में भी है, दैट हाउ व्हेन यू गो ऑन अ डेट, हाउ समवन ट्रीट्स द वेटर इज द साइन ऑफ how they're going to treat you eventually. So it is something like that, right? So you have to see that what emotion, what behavior is coming out of them and how they are able to deal with that behavior. So I think वहाँ से हमें थोड़ा सा समझना शुरू होना चाहिए कि इमोशंस का प्ले आउट कैसे होता है. इवेंचुअली वो बिहेवियर आपकी तरफ भी डायरेक्ट होके आएगा जब आप भी उतने फेमिलियर हो जाओगे एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. आप नार्सिसिस्टिक डिसऑर्डर्स, नार्सिसिज्म के साथ काफ़ी काम करते हो, तो tell me one thing, why are people not able to step out of narcissistic relationships even when they know that their partner is a narcissist? दूसरी चीज़ है कि पता कैसे चलेगा that my partner is a narcissist, क्योंकि आजकल ये लेबल्स लगाना इतना आसान हो गया है that we end up calling anything which is not suited to me, that I don't like, I say, oh, he's narcissistic. He's a narcissist about this. So what is genuine narcissism versus this whole social media narrative of what I don't like is narcissistic to me?
If we are talking about this term narcissism, first of all, the meaning is what? Somebody who is self-obsessed. Now tell me one person on this planet who is not self-obsessed. Everybody is, you, me, everybody is. But it's the quality of the self-obsession that matters the most. If my self-obsession is causing hurt to anybody else, as simple as that, it means it is not right. Socially, it is not right. So if I am causing pain to somebody because of my appreciation for myself, because I don't want to cause any inconvenience to myself, no matter who the opposite person is, they can be my parents, they can be my partner, they can be anybody. I am not at all bothered by their inconveniences as long as they are not bothering my convenience. It means I am sort of a narcissist person. I won't care if that person is my child. I won't care if that person is my wife. I won't care if they're my parents.
But do you think जो लोग खुद नार्सिसिस्ट होते हैं उनके अंदर इतना इंटेलिजेंस होता है या इतना उनको पता होता है that I am a narcissist? Do they really know? Or this obsessive behavior goes out of hands and you just don't know it? Like, when a lot of people who have anger issues, a lot of them don't know it because they feel that it's fair for me to get angry because that situation demanded such. The other person was so disrespectful of my way or my choices, or they were acting in an absurd manner, so my being angry is justified. They don't see it as an anger issue. A lot of people that I work with, a lot of my clients, some of them have extreme anger issues, and when we talk about it, they are just so surprised and they're like, no, but it's not fair to stay quiet in that situation. So narcissism is like 100x than just an anger issue, right? So do these people really have an insight of who they are? And if they don't have an insight and if they think so highly of themselves, कैसे इनको insight आएगी? मतलब what can a partner do in that situation?
First of all, if they get an insight that I might be having some narcissistic qualities, they will continue to live a very normal life post that point of realization. Because narcissism cannot be treated psychologically. There is no treatment as of now. In the future, they might come, but as of now, there is no treatment. Why? If I won't accept that I am a narcissist, how will I get any kind of treatment? And self-acceptance is in a way a treatment for this issue. If we are talking from a partner's narrative, how a narcissist is able to make sure the person do not leave them. A simple thing is showing them roller coaster in this particular relationship. Sometimes doing love bombing, sometimes complete ignorance, sometimes having a very good and healthy communication, sometimes giving them silent treatment. They are keeping their partners in a state of confusion. And the state of confusion is not allowing their partner to think logically, to think straight. But as every human being has hope, an element of hope. the partner continues to live with this emotion. Whenever they're getting the positive qualities from their partner, okay, now they have changed. So I'm hopeful they will continue to be better now. After a passage of time, they will slowly start doing the same old patterns and they will again would be in the same dilemma. I was wrong, but again they will shower them with love and again they're like, now they have improved again. So taking back, giving back, taking back, giving back. This give and take kind of a relationship is making their partner always in a state of confusion and they cannot leave their partner. So if they cannot leave, they need to decide that okay, after a passage of time, I need to take a stand now. Stand does not always mean that I am leaving my partner. Stand means if suppose I leave my partner, what is the guarantee that in the future I won't get the same sort of a person? What if in the future I got somebody who is a narcissist as well as an abuser? Who is verbally and physically abusing me along with being a narcissist person? Now I cannot go anywhere because I have like destroyed my life by my own hands. I did not work on improving my skills. What can we do in this regard? So the only thing that we can do in this regard is to detach ourselves emotionally from the partner. See, if we have decided, whatever ulterior motive there might be, I don't want to leave my partner because of children, financial issues, family from pressure from the family, or the fear from society, whatever the reason might be.
Or lack of confidence in myself that I will be able to live either financially, happily, or will find love again, and all of those issues, you know. A lot of people I've seen have issues like कि मैं तो physically इतनी attractive नहीं दिखती हूँ, मेरी उम्र बहुत ज़्यादा हो गई है, अब मुझे कोई नहीं मिलेगा और मुझे तो कोई चाहिए. वो होता है ना कि known devil is better than the unknown angel. Something like that also, you know. These are also issues that people choose to stay in a toxic relationship.
Absolutely. See, in this regard, I have an example to share. There was a movie, Hasina Maan Jayegi. It's a comedy movie starring Govinda Sanjay Dutt. तो एक पर्टिकुलर सीन आता है तो उसमें कैरेक्टर है अरुणा ईरानी who plays the बुआ. तो उसमें गोविंदा plays the role of चाचा, his own चाचा. तो she falls in love with चाचा, right? एंड गोविंदा ट्राई करता दूर भागने का, जितनी कोशिश करता है उतना ही उनका प्यार बढ़ता जाता है. तो वन डे ही संजय दत्त डिसाइड्स दैट लेट मी डू सम बैड लाइक बैड थिंग्स अबाउट यू टू हर, लेट मी से सम बैड थिंग्स अबाउट यू टू हर.
Bad PR.
इन अ वे, यस, बैड PR. वो जाता है एंड हाउ शी रिस्पॉन्ड्स इन दैट पर्टिकुलर सीन. तो वो कहते हैं कि इनको गुस्सा बहुत आता है. तो शी रिप्लाइज कि भाई ये तो एक मर्द की निशानी है. देन इनको नशा करने की आदत है, तभी उनकी आंखें इतनी नशीली हैं. इनको तो बाहर डांस देखने का शौक़ है. भाई इट्स अ साइन ऑफ रॉयल्टी. व्हाट्स रॉन्ग इन दैट? राजा महाराज भी देखा करते थे. अच्छा, इनको ही इज़ अ वुमेनाइजर. नहीं, मैं आ जाऊँगी ना, देन फिर ये चीज़ें नहीं करेंगे. सी, दिस इज़ द प्रॉब्लम. वी थिंक इट इन अ वेरी गुड वे. इट्स ओके टू थिंक इन अ गुड वे ऑल्सो. You love them. It's okay to think always best about the love. But the thing is, after a passage of time, you need to understand this is all filmy. In reality, nobody changes that easily. And you have like spent years and years with that person and you have seen that that person is not changing. He is still a womanizer. He is still an alcoholic. He is still an abuser. He has ignored you for so many years. What kind of hope do you think is going to change the person? No hope. Only change in yourself. If you won't change, they won't change. There's another example I want to share. Like in a college, suppose some boy is quite thin and some of his classmates, they bully him in a positive way, not in an aggressive manner, but they tease him. Oye patle. They continue to taunt him in that way. There are like some days in between, let's say summer vacations are there, 2 महीने की छुट्टी है. He spends some time in gym, he eats a lot and suddenly he puts on some weight. Not a huge muscles, but हाँ कुछ weight put on करा. Then he comes back. Now his intention might be, his core motivation might be that I no longer want to be called as a patla. अब वो वापस कॉलेज आता है. Now he is not asking his classmates not to taunt him. But now his classmates are now thinking, should we continue to call him patla? अब तो पतला नहीं रहा, अब तो थोड़ा तगड़ा हो गया ये. So should we call him patla or should we give him a new nickname? Because now those people are into a state of dilemma because of the change you underwent. So your change will make other people change also. Not immediately, not everybody, but many of them will change. Not in a big extent, but in a minor extents, they will start changing themselves because you changed yourself. So if you want to change the partner, the change starts from within. So the first thing, as I said previously also, detachment. How will we detach ourselves from the partner? By being happy with our own life. We have given them the beacon of happiness in this relationship. If they are happy, I am happy. If they are sad, I am sad. Why? Why with their emotions I have associated my emotions? Because of the lack of confidence, as you said previously. This lack of confidence is what? They have taken away whatever I used to do in my life. They have taken away and maintained a kind of a control.
How much it is about them taking it away, or you are too easy to give up your own identity? I mean, is it so easy for us to blame the other person that they have hijacked my life than to say that, oh, I let it slip by because, again, I did not have enough confidence, I had self-worth issues, or whatever it is that you don't know about yourself yet. बड़ा आसान हो जाता है सामने वाले को ये लेबल लगा देना कि ये नार्सिसिस्ट है या फिर ये ऐसा है कि इसने मेरी लाइफ को हाईजैक कर लिया. बट मुझे लगता है कई लोगों की खुद की पर्सनालिटी भी ऐसी होती है कि दे आर नॉट सो कॉन्फिडेंट विद इन देमसेल्व्स, और देयर आइडिया ऑफ लव इज़ कि जब मैं प्यार में पढ़ती हूँ या पढ़ता हूँ तो आई लूज़ माई आइडेंटिटी. जो हम में से बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं, जो चीज़ें आपको करना पसंद होती है, जो चीज़ें आपको जाना पसंद होती है, इवन योर करियर चॉइसेस, दे ऑल मूव इन एंड अराउंड दैट पर्सन. So is it about the narcissism of the other person or lack of self-awareness and self-worth within you? Or is it a mix of both?
It will start with the lack of confidence in us. हमारे अंदर आत्मविश्वास की कमी है, तभी उसका exploitation दूसरा इंसान easily कर पाता है. If my defense is strong, no matter how strong the army is, they won't be able to penetrate my country. If my defense is weak, anybody can come. So the first thing is I need to prepare some boundaries. So that is, I need to work on myself. I need to create that kind of confidence in my life that nobody should be able to take me or my life for granted.
For that, I will have to do the effort, make the effort of knowing myself enough that I know what my boundaries are. The problem with a lot of people who fall in love is that they don't know what their boundaries are.
Yes.
You know, even if they know 3-4 which are very textbook like boundaries, and these boundaries are also little negotiable when you are in love. You know, some days you stretch your boundaries a little bit and some days you try to hold them very firmly. क्योंकि relationship बहुत dynamic चीज़ है, कोई fixed चीज़ नहीं है कि 1 किलो तोलना था तो बिल्कुल 1 किलो ही तोला, right? You can't do it like that. तो कभी आपको अपनी boundaries को थोड़ा सा expand भी करना पड़ता है दूसरे के point of view को आने के लिए, और कभी आप अपनी boundaries पे बिल्कुल firm भी रहते हो कि नहीं, I am not okay to budge from this stand, right? तो what I was going to ask you is that कि जब ये चीज़ होती है ना रिलेशनशिप, क्योंकि इतना डायनामिक है तो कन्फ्यूजन पैदा होती है. अच्छा, जो लोग बहुत ज़्यादा अपनी बाउंड्री पे स्टिक हो जाते हैं, बहुत उसी में मैलिएबल नहीं होते बाउंड्रीज़ को लेकर, उनके रिलेशनशिप्स हो ही नहीं पाते हैं. 2 महीने, 4 महीने, 6 महीने, 1 साल बाद ब्रेकअप्स होते हैं. दे हैव मल्टीपल एक्स पार्टनर्स. जो लोग अपनी बाउंड्री को स्ट्रेच ही करते रहते हैं, फिर वो एक रिलेशनशिप में 2, 4, 5, 7 साल बिता देते हैं. फिर उन्हें लगता है कि आई डोंट नो हु एम आई एनी मोर, आई डोंट नो व्हाट्स माई आइडेंटिटी इन दिस रिलेशनशिप, आई डोंट नो व्हाई आई एम सो अनहैप्पी इन माई लाइफ, राइट? तो दोनों केसेस थोड़े एक्सट्रीम केसेस हैं. देयर इज अ थर्ड काइंड ऑफ पर्सन जो इतने इमोशनली इंटेलिजेंट एंड अवेयर होते हैं दैट दे नो व्हाट इज़ द राइट बैलेंस ऑफ ऑल दिस. और मुझे लगता है ये वाले लोगों की थोड़ी कमी है. पीपल यूजुअली ऑपरेट इन दीज टू एक्सट्रीम्स. सो व्हाट इज़ योर एडवाइस टू दीज टू एक्सट्रीम्स?
राइट. देखिए, तूफान में जो पेड़ फ्लेक्सिबल है वो सर्वाइव करेगा, जो अकड़ के खड़ा है सबसे पहले वो खड़ेगा. राइट. द सेम हैपन्स इन रिलेशनशिप ऑल्सो. माई वे और द हाईवे. देन यू आर सीइंग द हाईवे इन सो मैनी रिलेशनशिप्स. यू हैव सीन इट. सो इफ आई वोंट चेंज माई सेल्फ, what is the change? What is the definition of change? Change is our adjustment. So adjustment with the stupidity of my partner. So this is my intelligence that I am adjusting with the stupidity of my partner. Let us assume your partner is stupid. They are assuming the same thing. Right? So they are assuming the same thing. They are adjusting to your stupidity with their intelligence. You are adjusting to their stupidity with your intelligence.
And nobody knows what is actually that stupidity. Is it really stupid or not? I mean, who decides?
I think the situation will decide. Sometimes they are watching a movie which is favored by the wife And if the husband is overreacting over certain scenes, so that is the stupidity of the partner.
Let me make it more specific, the example. Like, you know, let's say the wife enjoys watching romantic movies and the husband likes action, thriller, etc. So for the husband, the choice of romantic movies is almost stupid. What is it? Every movie has the same story, and for wife, the husband's choice of movie is stupid. That why are watching violence and all of that? We have enough in the news anyway.
Right.
So for both, their own ideas, like the other person's ideas, are stupid. But what really is stupid out of the two? It's a very objective question. We can't say romantic movies are stupid or thriller and action movies and all of those are stupid, right? So actual reality of stupid कुछ नहीं है. You know, this is what I was trying to ask. कि reality कुछ भी नहीं है. मेरा perspective है कि मुझे action drama ये stupid लगता है और दूसरे इंसान का perspective है कि मुझे रोमांटिक कॉमेडी और ये सब बहुत स्टूपिड लगता है. इट्स टू शैलो फॉर मी, राइट? बट एक्चुअल में शैलो क्या है वो कुछ भी नहीं है. और क्योंकि दोनों अपने स्टैंड पॉइंट को लेके खड़े हुए हैं और दोनों के बिल्कुल अपोजिंग बिलीव्स हैं, तो वो हमेशा वो टकरार और लड़ाई होती रहती है. तो इतना भी इंसाइट हमें आ जाए कि रियलिटी, एब्सोल्यूट रियलिटी इन दोनों में कुछ भी नहीं है. दे आर नॉट ट्रूथ्स. एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ नहीं है. You know, you will have your own tribe where people would love romantic movies and rom-com. That's why it's a big multi-trillion-dollar economy genre. Whereas there is a whole army of people who love the thrillers and dramas and this kind of action and superheroes and all of that. There is a majority that loves that segment also. तो अगर हम यहाँ पे इतनी भी insight पैदा कर पाएं, you know, and I think this very insight will help us question our own choices, you know. And जो हम boundary की बात करें कि पता कैसे चलेगा मैं कौन सी boundary उनको क्रॉस करने दूँ, थोड़ा स्ट्रेच कर लूँ अपने आप को, या फिर मैं बिल्कुल वहाँ पे फुल स्टॉप लगा दूँ कि होगा नहीं. आई थिंक अगर हम ये इतना इंसाइट ले आ पाएँ कि कुछ भी एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ नहीं है, तो शायद हम अपनी चॉइसेस को थोड़ा क्वेश्चन करना शुरू करेंगे. यू नो दैट ओके, आई एम सीइंग रोमांटिक मूवीज, ही डजंट वॉच रोमांटिक मूवीज एंड आई एम वेरी क्रिटिकल ऑफ हिम, क्योंकि हम साथ में कभी कुछ देख ही नहीं पाते हैं. ईदर ही इज़ अनहैप्पी और आई एम अनहैप्पी. बट अगर आप ये रियलिटी के थोड़ा करीब जाएं और सोचें कि यार इसमें से एब्सोल्यूट ट्रूथ कुछ भी नहीं है, तो फिर आप वो नेगोशिएट करने की सिचुएशन में आ जाते हैं, राइट? जब तक आप सोचते हैं मेरा वाला ही परम सत्य है, या फिर वो सोचते तो यू कांट फाइंड अ मिड ग्राउंड, राइट? Now, having said so, tell me, something about, like, I want to be specific in the narcissism category because that is one of your expertise. Now, because you have your expertise in the narcissism space, I want to be specific in that category and ask you a question that बहुत सारे लोग जो narcissistic लोगों से attract होते हैं, do you think they find stable, healthy relationships as boring? Is their nervous system looking for some kind of a chase, some kind of a hunt, some kind of a reward that they get after being with a narcissistic person? You know, they maybe get a feeling that, oh, I can tolerate so much, I'm such a nice person. Why is it happening is what I want to ask you.
It all starts, first of all, we need to understand how the brain works. See, the brain is not designed to seek comfort. It is made for survival. So it is always going to see out potential threats in every situation. So it means we are always going to see negative in every situation. And because we are able to see negative in every situation, we are always in a high alert mode. Naturally, we are in this way. We are made in such a way. Now, if my childhood was in such an environment where everybody was fighting with each other, not specifically they were toxic to me, they might be toxic with the different members of the family. But I have been in such an unsettling environment where everybody is always screaming, shouting, fighting, breaking things, right? Something like this. They are fighting among themselves, they are fighting with the neighbors also. So my nervous system has adapted to this particular environment as a normal conditioning. So if now I am in a relationship and if I am not able to find a partner with whom I can fight, with whom I can abuse, I'm not saying that only I will abuse. I want that person to abuse me as well. I want them to fight with me as well. So this is that nervous familiarity. And sometimes, see, I know my partner is quite aggressive, but I am able to live with them. So I'm such a great person that I'm able to live with such a great person who's always angry. So this is my misconception, that I'm assuming that I have no issues, but their anger issue is an issue, but I'm adjusting to their issues. But
Because I feel that, oh, I'm such a good
Great
person,
person.
better person.
yeah, I'm such a saint. right? I'm such a noble soul who is able to see all the pains and sufferings, and I'm taking all the pain in my own soul. I want you to get rid of all the pain. No.
ये लाइन हम बड़ी बार सुनते हैं ना कि जो पर्सन अग्रेसिव होता है वो भी ये बोलता है कि मेरे साथ कोई और होता तो रह ही नहीं पाता, या जो रह रहा होता है इंसान के साथ वो ये बोलता है कि वो तो मैं हूँ जो झेल रहा हूँ या झेल रही हूँ, वरना तो मैं कोई झेल नहीं पाता। दोनों साइड से हम ये सुनते हैं,
Right,
दैट समवेयर एक डिग्री ऑफ अवेयरनेस तो है,
right.
लेकिन फिर भी वो जो डिस्प्यूट है वो वहीं का वहीं पड़ा हुआ है। रिलेशनशिप को 2 महीने हो गए, 2 साल हो गए, 20 साल हो गए। हाउ डज दिस गेट सॉल्व फॉर दैट कपल, अगर वो ये एपिसोड देख रहे हैं तो?
They need to communicate. As simple as that. बात करने से बात बनती है, इससे बड़ा नहीं कुछ सच है। कितने सारी कंट्रीज़ के वॉर्स रुक जाते हैं थ्रू वर्ड्स। आप अच्छे से बात कर लो बैठ के। बड़ी बड़ी डिप्लोमेसी में क्या होता है? यू कम्युनिकेट, यू एक्सप्रेस योर नीड्स, यू नीड अ प्लेस वेयर यू कैन लिसन टू ईच अदर। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दे नीड टू वर्क ऑन द एक्टिव लिसनिंग पार्ट। एक्टिव लिसनिंग क्या है? सुनो, रिप्लाई देने के लिए नहीं, समझने के लिए कि वो क्या कहना चाह रहा है। नहीं समझ आ रहा फिर पूछो। जब आप दोबारा क्वेश्चन पूछते हो इसका मतलब क्या? यू आर पेइंग अटेंशन। And this asking question habit is also making your partner feel comfortable that you are paying attention to what I'm saying. So active listening is the first component. Second, then communicate whatever you want. Then come on the middle grounds. That I will compromise certain things, you will compromise certain things. Okay, you love romantic movies, I love action movies. We will do one thing. In a month, twice we will see romantic movies and twice we will see action movies together. Individually, whatever we want to do, we can do. We have our own private space. But if we are being together, let me adjust to your genre and and I want you to adjust to my genre as well. So this adjustment will come through communication, and communication will enhance through active listening. And active listening will come into effect. We'll work on some patience.
But do you think narcissistic people have this insight or this capacity to hold active listening, to hold patience?
No, they do not. They
Right?
do not.
Then what's the solve? क्योंकि हम ये जो बातें कर रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है ये एक सरफेस लेवल सोल्यूशन तो हो सकता है, लेकिन जो हार्डकोर प्रॉब्लम है, जो हार्डकोर नार्सिसिस्ट है, वहाँ लोग कम्युनिकेशन करके थक गए, अपनी बातें समझा के थक गए, कुछ लोग तो थेरेपी लेके, कोचिंग लेके भी थक गए, लेकिन कुछ हो नहीं पाता है। क्योंकि जो एक नार्सिसिस्ट होता है उसके अंदर ये कैपेसिटी ही नहीं है कि वो दूसरे का पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू अब्जॉर्ब कर पाए। हो सकता है जब वो अपने हैप्पी वाले फेज में चल रहे हैं, या जब वो उस जोन में है, वहाँ पे वो सुन लें आपको, लेकिन वो कितना अब्जॉर्ब करेंगे और अप्लाई करेंगे, आई थिंक बिकॉज फॉर अ नार्सिसिस्टिक देयर नीड्स आर अबव एवरीबडी एल्सेस, राइट? तो उन लोगों के लिए ये वाले जो हम बातें करें, these are not solutions for them. So what is the solution for that kind of a relationship?
Solution is taking example from Khoon Bhari Maang, a movie. So in that movie, like Rekha is a very good wife and Kabir Bedi is quite a toxic husband, right? So he even tries to kill her. Somehow she survives, she comes back, but see the difference. Now her comeback was like a literal definition of a comeback. If the stature of Kabir Bedi was like this, the stature of Rekha became this. So the only way through which you can overpower a narcissist is when you become bigger than a narcissist. And that is through your mental growth, financial growth, physical growth. You need to work on your health. First of all, you need to work on your smile. Continue to smile even if you want to cry from within. Continue to smile. Fake. Keep on faking until you make it. Right? Smile. Do exercises. Eat good. Start earning financially. Having that financial independence. If no matter how minute amount of money you can earn, it's not about earning lakhs and lakhs of rupees per month. No, even if you're earning around 3,000 to 4,000 rupees per month, that is sufficient for you to have that kind of a self-confidence that I am not entirely dependent on that person. Even if you are, they know you are, but this habit of earning even a minute amount of money is scaring them.
Yeah, actually it acts as a messaging for you that yes, I can do better, and it is within me. I can expand this much money to 10x tomorrow if I keep continuing on this path. And it's a message to them that this person knows how to stand her ground now or their ground now, right? So it's kind of a subtle messaging. So you are saying that ऐसे subtle messaging का use करो, like अपनी physical body को लेकर काम करो, so that serves as a messaging that oh no, she is worthy of other things. And financial independence पे काम करते हो, that also signals a messaging. But do you think narcissists people are able to take this hint and this messaging?
Absolutely, they are. See, suppose I am wearing a certain type of clothes at home. My partner is a narcissist. Suddenly, I am wearing good clothes even at home. I'm wearing not I'm saying always expensive clothes, but I'm wearing good clothes. That's such kind of clothes. If I want to go out, I do not need to change. I'm wearing good clothes at home. I'm taking care of my health. I'm taking care of my skin. I'm taking care of my hair. Like that way, I am taking care of myself. I am reclaiming myself. We need to reclaim ourselves. And the worst thing that we all do is we disconnect from a good network. By good network, I mean our old friend circle. The people who were very positive, who were very supportive to me, but because of my narcissistic partner, I had to quit communication with them. So I need to re-communicate with them. I need to rebuild my network with them. That is my health support. That is my mental support. That is my growth support. Because your friends, with them, you can be absolutely transparent. But good friends, not with everybody. I know I have 3-4 good friends. So I want to communicate whatever is going in my life so that I can at least vent out. So my friend circle is like my that's free therapy area where I can vent out whatever I want to vent out, and sometimes I can get good advices from them. Even if I'm not getting any good advice, at least I'm able to vent out and they were able to listen to me. I was able to get that kind of support. So this is one of the worst mistakes I have seen partners committing or the individuals committing in their lives. That is they cut off from the good people from their past.
Actually, I think it's a two-sided thing, because one is that you cut off from your friends and your network because you get absorbed into this relationship. And the second side of this coin is that a narcissist partner makes you cut off from your own people because they suck you completely into this relationship by keeping you on this emotional roller coaster that you're always adjusting, adapting, that you have hardly any bandwidth left to cater to your own network of people, and eventually those relationships just fade out of your life, right? So one who's listening to this conversation, please see what is really happening. How much of it is your own giving up on your own life and how much of it is coming from this person who has, because sometimes you know what happens in the age of social media, हम दूसरे इंसान को इतना जल्दी लेबल दे देते हैं, हमें लगता है कि उन्होंने मेरी पूरी आइडेंटिटी छीन लिया, उन्होंने मेरे पूरा अपने रिलेशनशिप में एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया. बट हम ये सवाल खुद से नहीं उठाते कि मेरी एक्चुअल आइडेंटिटी है भी क्या, क्योंकि हमें खुद ही नहीं पता होता कि व्हाट इज़ माई एक्चुअल आइडेंटिटी. इफ़ आई एम नॉट इन दिस रिलेशनशिप, I think one question that everybody should ask, and this is what I tell my clients also, that if you're not in this relationship, who are you? What is your identity beyond this relationship? If it's what is your morning like, what would be your morning routine, what would be your day like, दिन के 24 घंटे आपके लिए कैसे प्ले आउट करेंगे, हफ्ते के 7 दिन आपके लिए कैसे प्ले आउट करेंगे अगर आप रिलेशन. क्योंकि क्या होता है जब हम दूसरे इंसान को नार्सिसिस्ट बोलते हैं तो हमें उधर से लगता है कि हमें इस इंसान को अपनी लाइफ से निकाल देना चाहिए, निकल जाना चाहिए, ब्रेकअप इज़ अ सोल्यूशन, राइट? बट ब्रेकअप के बाद क्या? What after that? If you don't know your own identity, like we were discussing from the very beginning, आप similar तरह का pattern attract कर लोगे, थोड़ा कम ज़्यादा हो सकता है डिग्री में, but something similar you'll attract in your other partner also, and you'll come back to the same question that why am I attracting emotionally unavailable people all the time? Because that problem has given you two things to think about. One, what is the other person, what are the red flags, what am I ignoring and all of that, and second thing is who am I? So हम इतने busy हैं ये prove करने में कि मेरा ex narcissist था, toxic था, that we don't take the question to ourselves that what does it reveal about me? What does it communicate to me about myself? क्योंकि हमें लगता है हम खुद के लाइक वी पुट आवरसेल्व्स ऑन अ पेडेस्टल, हमें लगता है हम तो सही ही हैं. ये मेरा एक ऑब्जर्वेशन रहा है कोचिंग में इतने सालों पे, और फिर मैं इस सवाल पे लेके आती हूँ लोगों को कि ठीक है आप उनको ब्लेम कर सकते हो, बहुत ज़्यादा ब्लेम कर सकते हो, आप वेंट आउट जैसा आपने कहा फ्रेंड्स के साथ कर सकते हो, लेट्स से यू ब्रेक अप दिस रिलेशनशिप, व्हाट आफ्टर दैट, यू नो? एंड ओके देन आई विल डू दिस, आई विल डू दैट. व्हाई कांट यू डू दैट व्हेन यू आर इन दिस रिलेशनशिप, राइट? इसमें रह के करके तो देखो, क्या वो आपको मना करते हैं, क्या वो आपको बिल्कुल स्पेस नहीं देते हैं? दैट्स अ क्लियर रेड फ्लैग. मे बी यू नीड टू स्टेप आउट ऑफ दिस रिलेशनशिप. बट इफ दे आर नॉट हाईजैकिंग योर लाइफ, लेकिन आप क्योंकि सबमिसिव ज़्यादा हो और आप होने दे रहे हो, और क्यों कुछ तो आप सबमिसिव और कुछ आपको पता ही नहीं कि आप हो कौन. बहुत सारी लड़कियों के साथ ये प्रॉब्लम आती है एक्चुअली, बिकॉज द वे गर्ल्स आर रेज्ड अब तो खैर जेनजी तो बहुत ही डिफरेंट जनरेशन है, दे आर लिटिल मोर अवेयर देन अस, बट द वे गर्ल्स वर रेज्ड वाज दिस दैट दे वर नॉट वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट देयर ओन आइडेंटिटीज, राइट? सो इट वाज वेरी easy for them to get sucked into a relationship fully. But now that you know these kind of conversations about mental health are opening up, एक साइड उसका ये है कि हम हर किसी को लेबल करके खुद को बेहतर समझते हैं और अपनी तारीफ में और वो खुद एक नार्सिसिस्ट बन जाते हैं इन अ वे, यू नो, सेल्फ ऑब्सेस्ड इन अ वे कि हाँ मैं तो इतना सहन शक्ति है मेरे अंदर, मैं ही झेल रही हूँ वरना तो कोई और ना झेले, आत्ममोह बेसिकली हो जाता है. और दूसरा ये है कि हम ये नहीं देखते हैं कि हमें एक्चुअली खुद पर क्या काम करना है. तो ब्रिंगिंग बैक दिस होल कॉन्वर्जेशन जो आप भी पहले कह रहे थे कि द बॉटम लाइन इज दैट वर्किंग ऑन योर ओन आइडेंटिटी, यू नो, जो हमने पहले भी बात की, रिकन्स्ट्रक्टिंग योर ओन आइडेंटिटी. आपने कुछ बहुत क्लियर स्टेप्स भी दिए टू रिकन्स्ट्रक्ट योर ओन आइडेंटिटी, विच वेयर यू टॉक्ड अबाउट वर्किंग ऑन योर फिजिकल बॉडी, वर्किंग ऑन योर फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंस, वर्किंग ऑन मेकिंग योर network of friends strong and all of that. So I think these are few steps that will solve for you. है ना, वो रिलेशनशिप चलेगा नहीं चलेगा, ऑल ऑफ दैट इज़ अ वेरी सब्जेक्टिव कॉन्वर्जेशन. और हम यहाँ पर कोई ऐसा मुझे लगता है हार्ड कोर सोल्यूशन भी नहीं दे सकते, बिकॉज हर प्रॉब्लम यूनिक होती है. हर प्रॉब्लम में जो लोग होते हैं वो एक यूनिक स्पेस पे खड़े होते हैं. हर प्रॉब्लम एक मुझे लगता है एक टाइमलाइन और एक जर्नी पे चलती है. तो कौन उस जर्नी में कहाँ पर है उसके लिए क्या सोल्यूशन होगा वर्सेस कौन कहाँ पर उसके लिए क्या सोल्यूशन, बहुत डिफरेंट चीज़ें हो सकती हैं. बट दिस बॉटम लाइन नेवर चेंजेस, दैट you have to ask yourself that who you are outside of this relationship, and you have to very very clearly work on those things now. And if you don't know who you are outside of that relationship, then get into that introspection, get into that curiosity, you know, get curious about yourself. हम कितने curious रहते हैं ना, इसने ये बोला तो इसका मतलब ये है या इसका मतलब ये नहीं है, इसका मतलब वो कहना चाह रहे थे. But are we as curious about our own selves? I don't think a lot of us are.
Right.
So I think that is a good ground for one to start knowing themselves better and all of that. We talked about childhood conditioning. आपने बात की कि कहाँ से ये इस तरह के bonds बनना शुरू होते हैं. आपके idea of relationship ही ऐसा है कि प्यार को तो earn करना ही पड़ता है. How much of it is true that love needs to be earned? You know, in social media this narrative goes on that especially you know, as a motivational thing also, that you know, he has to earn my love. I am so independent, I'm so good looking, I'm this and that and blah blah blah. They have to work to earn it. How much of that narrative is correct, and what is wrong with this narrative?
If this is the perception of that person, I don't think so other person should earn even a percentage of their love, because this is not the love they are giving. This is like
Not just love, sorry, let me cut you there. Respect also. Respect needs to be earned. हम ये बहुत प्राइड के साथ बोलते हैं, बहुत सारे लोग हम में से बोलते हैं रिस्पेक्ट नीड्स टू बी अर्न. वी टेल इट टू आवर पेरेंट्स ऑल्सो दैट जस्ट बिकॉज यू आर माई पेरेंट एंड यू आर ओल्डर देन मी और आवर रिलेटिव्स doesn't mean I respect you. Respect needs to be earned. Love needs to be earned. So ये चीज़ें एक पॉजिटिव फ्रेमवर्क में भी काम करती हैं. लेकिन रिलेशनशिप में how does it play out?
So in a relationship, if this is my ideology, and by this ideology I'm entering into the relationship, it means I do not respect the person from the beginning, and I might not even respect the person in the later part of the relationship also, because the center of this particular ideology is I, me, myself. So I am putting myself on the driver's seat, but I want that person to drive. So this is the kind of a situation you are making your partner within.
Oh wow.
Right? So I am on the driving seat, now drive the car. How will they drive the car when you have all the control? You're not using the control also, but you're not letting go of the control also.
Wow. Such a beautiful way of putting it across.
So this is the situation. So I don't think so this is the right way of starting even a small like friendship also. Forget about a good relationship, a romantic relationship. Even a friendship should not be based on this ideology. You need to do this in order to attain my attention, and then I will grace you with my presence. No, do not grace me with your presence. Grace your mirror with your presence, not me, right? So we need to get away from these people. This is not healthy at all, and there is no way of justifying it as well. So you need to earn. See, earning respect is when both of you are earning each other's respect. That is the correct way. But in this, you're not putting it out in open, and you're not even thinking about this. It is like through my actions, I will earn their love. This is my core ideology. I want to earn their love. This is not being stated by them. This is what I am thinking in my own mind. I need to earn their love. This is what every employee goes through in their mind whenever they join any company. That I will continue to do hard work, and my seniors, I will sooner or later recognize my efforts and they might promote me to a good rank. This is what they all go
But
through.
doesn't it happen? ऐसा होता भी तो है ना?
It happens, yes, it happens. In professional environment also it happens, in army it happens, everywhere it happens, right?
In relationships also, I have seen people who are our parents' age. In the late 60s, I hear men say that, oh, she put up with so much of nonsense that I brought to table. ये बात हो रहा है कि अब दोनों ऑलमोस्ट 60, 65, 70 हो गए, घुटनों में दर्द आ गया, अब आप एक्सपीरियंसेस साथ में क्रिएट नहीं कर सकते, आप ट्रैवल नहीं कर सकते, आप बच्चे नहीं पैदा कर सकते, वॉट एवर एक्सपीरियंसेस यू क्रिएट एज अ कपल, राइट, आप उस तरह से इंटीमेट नहीं हो सकते हो, वो सब नहीं हो सकता है. तो फिर उस टाइम की रियलाइजेशन का क्या फ़ायदा है, या बहुत लोगों को इतने साल लग जाते हैं, तो व्हाट इज़ द राइट वे टू डील विद दिस होल सिचुएशन?
So the right way would be, if suppose I am not even asking my partner to sit with me, keep your phones aside, keep stories of your colleagues aside, keep stories of the families aside, let us just talk, you and me. What should we do as a couple? What should we do as husband and wife? Let us talk about that. Rarely we talk about our own selves. We always need a third subject to talk. And if we need a third subject to talk, it means we lack that love. That was no love. That's an
we lack a
obligation.
healthy communication about this relationship.
We are just following a social obligation put on us by the family, or we blindly followed love initially. We tied the knot, we are now together, but after some time the chemistry is fading away. Why? Because we are not communicating. This bloody expectation part. You used to stay awake till 2 a.m. when we were dating. Now you can't even stay awake till 11 p.m. Why should he? Now you are part of his life. And why should you stay awake so late as well? Why are you not changing for him also? Right? In that way, I mean to say, we do not want to change and we do not want to communicate, but we want that person to behave in the perfect Purushottam Ram manner or the Sati Savitri manner. We want our partners to behave that way, but we do not want to change ourselves. We do not want to change the habits. We do not want to adapt into any positive habit also. Many couples you have seen, they can't do a lot. So what they do, they go on walks together. They don't need their company like the friend's company. Together they are going out on a walk. This is how they are able to spend some time together. They're watching the movie is an excuse of them spending some time together. You need to find excuses to spend some time together. Going to a temple, this is also an excuse of spending some time together. भगवान खुश है, आपसे भगवान खुश है, आप आओ वो और खुश हो जाएंगे. When you are spending time together and you're finding excuses, this habit of finding excuses is romantic in its own way. It means still you want to put more efforts. And it should be done by both the partners.
Like you're still interested in them enough and in this relationship enough that you want to create experiences together with that person.
Right.
Tell me one thing. Let's talk about this whole idea of love, you know. How much love happens within your own brain, within your own thinking, and how much of it is actually happening in reality?
Whatever you expected equals to whatever you are able to get in return in reality. If it is mismatching, it means you might have thought more in your mind and now you're getting less, or you might have thought less in your mind and you're getting more. And if I am not habitual of receiving more love, I might discard that love also. I might. Or I might appreciate my partner to that extent that I will diminish my own likes and dislikes and I will continue to surrender myself in front of my partner. See, again the same dilemma will come. So my partner needs to understand, do not throw such huge amount of love at me instantly. Shower with me small portion of love and slowly increase the dosage so that I can get comfortable with that huge amount of love with the passage of time. Instantly, if you're giving me so much attention, so much love, so this is the wrong thing that happens in every relationship also, in even the marriage also. You're continuously on the call, you're driving the car, going to office, you're on calls. So you will get bored out of each other after a passage of time.
There are so many ideas about giving love. You can plan surprises, you can go out on dates, you can make some rituals, etc., etc. But there is hardly any guidance on how to receive love. I feel we grow up with this idea of love where we can do these gestures for our partner, but how do we receive? Do you think we are good receivers in love?
Not most of us, we are not. See, there is a pattern followed by many people. They continue to write gratitude journal. I am grateful for this. I am grateful for this. How many times have we said this to our partner? This is the way of receiving love and letting them know that I received the love you wanted me to receive. express that in verbal way or in non-verbal way also by doing certain gesture, but not because you wanted to do something in return. In counseling, we call this creating a twinkle. So, twinkle is when you do something because your partner loves it, not with the expectation of getting something in return. This is the correct way of showing them that you have received their love. This is what I think. Create a twinkle in your life. Suppose my wife, she loves, let's say she loves going to a particular location. I know that. Or she might love going on a long drive. I know that. I might not be able to spare that amount of time, but I'm trying to do. I'm not letting her know. I'm instantly planning. Okay, chalo chalte hain on a long drive. Suddenly she's surprised. Okay, let's go. This is twinkle. I don't want her to do something. Let's say I like eating a particular kind of dish. She knows that. So I'm not doing this particular long drive because I want her to cook that particular dish.
So basically, you're not expecting anything in return
Yes.
with those activities.
Yes.
So there should be a few activities where you're not expecting things in return, because the normal wiring of a human brain is, even in love, that when we do something, we subconsciously always want something in return. However much we call ourselves a giver and whatever, but the bottom reality is that you're always expecting something in return. So you are saying that create
Twinkle.
twinkles in your life where you do something for your partner without expecting anything in return. Find those little things that you can do and then probably expand on them.
Yeah, because this, on this particular point of little things, there is a movie, Tokyo Drift, right? The third part of the Fast and Furious, I guess. So in that movie, there is a particular scene. The gangster arrives and he shares a small story. He was like, a whole kingdom in Japan was destroyed. Why? Because messenger was unable to reach kingdom on time. He was unable to deliver the message on time. Why? Because the horse was unavailable. Why the horse was unavailable? Because the horse had no horseshoe. Why there was no horseshoe? Because there was unavailability of nails. So because of the unavailability of nails, the whole kingdom died. This is how vital small efforts are. We always overemphasize, oh my God, we have seen on social media, they have gone to Bali, they have gone to Dubai and celebrating their birthdays, celebrating their anniversary. He or she has given them that particular vehicle or that particular jewelry. So this is how we are comparing. Because of this element of comparison, when their partner is doing certain small efforts, like for example, if my wife is cooking lunch for me every day, this is the small effort. And if I'm ignoring this effort and I want my wife to do something grand, I don't deserve such partner. So we always ignore minute efforts created by the partner and we want the grand things. So this grand thing is not love, this is a greed. This is a greed to show others that how good my partner is or how good my life is.
So basically, being grateful in motion, like what's happening in your life, the ability to recognize that, what you have, and notice that instead of just thinking of it as duty or thinking of it as something which should be given to you for granted and all of that. Noticing those things and acknowledging your partner, not just because they would like to listen to this acknowledgement, but also telling yourself that I'm blessed in this manner. So creating that significant narrative shift for your own self. So one exercise for people who are watching this episode would be that find these moments where you can really be grateful, active gratitudes, not like हमने रात को किताब में लिख लिया, I'm grateful for my breathing, but when you're actually breathing, you're not in touch with your breathing, At least दिन में 10 सांसें तो लो जो आप actually में grateful होकर ले पा रहे हो. Rather than writing in the night in your diary that I'm grateful for breathing, I'm grateful for another day. Take out a minute in your day and actually feel that gratitude, because when you start doing this, very clear distinction happens in your mind and in your experience. You're able to distinguish between the theory and the real practical aspect of it. और फिर वो feeling आपकी life के different areas में trickle down करने लगती है. So this is like a habit that that I'm going to be actively engaged in my own life, maybe a few minutes a day. That's why meditation works so beautifully. That's why writing journal works so beautifully for a lot of people. Whatever brings you in deep touch with your own reality, works. I think we've had some beautiful things coming out of this conversation, Dr. Tarun. The way you talked about narcissism, you you talked about the journey of how the relationship plays out. जिस तरह से आपने जो चीज़ों पे हमें emphasize करना चाहिए उसके बारे में बात की. The way you talked about rebuilding your own identity, reconstruction of the whole identity, and where to start that. I think these are very clear pointers for people who are watching this conversation. These are some things that they can apply to their lives from the very next moment once they finish watching this episode. And that is the whole idea of, for me to create this podcast, not just as a good to listen to conversation, but actually some really simple steps to come out that they're able to apply in their own life. And I think you have given a lot of those pointers for people to take into account, and some are very reflective. आप खुद के बारे में ज़्यादा जानोगे, खुद की आइडेंटिटी रिक्रिएट करोगे, रिक्लेम करोगे एक रिलेशनशिप में अगर आप एक नार्सिसिस्ट के साथ भी हो तो. एंड कुछ सामने वाले इंसान के बिहेवियर पैटर्न, उसके बारे में अपने इंसाइट्स दिए कि कहाँ से कैसे पता चलेगा और आप उसको कैसे नेविगेट करोगे. व्हाट इज़ दैट वन रिलेशनशिप बिहेवियर पीपल कॉल लव, बट एज अ साइकोलॉजिस्ट यू वर एक्चुअली कॉल इट ट्रॉमा?
Obsession. If you are obsessed and you are possessive, and this will create jealousy, that will create anger, that will create a big difference and a huge gap between the love you have for your partner. So this is often portrayed as a very good trait, but in reality it's a big red flag.
People often think heartbreak is about losing another person, but in reality it is about fill in the blanks for me.
In reality, it is about seeing the harsh truth that you wanted something what you never had in your life. Now, when that is gone, you are again missing that blank in your life.
So it's not about that person particularly, it's about that experience that they created for you that was not there for you in your life.
Absolutely.
That you were chasing for, something like that.
Yes.
Dr. Tarun, can your nervous system mistake anxiety and hypervigilance for love?
It always does. Because if we are habitual of living with such an environment, we will always confuse this anxiety with love. Because we always feel if there are butterflies in my stomach, something like that. So it is love, but it is not love. That is your anxiety response alarming you that this is a red flag, this is not a good sign.
So however much this idea of having butterflies in my stomach is romanticized and is associated to love, you're saying that it's not.
If my childhood or if my past experiences had been quite traumatic, then it is not love.
Then butterflies are actually like
A sign of anxiety.
beautiful. So basically, when we say that we knew they were wrong for me, we are talking from our intelligence, we are talking from our mind, but we are not talking from our subconscious wiring. Whatever I have experienced in my childhood, we are not talking from that space, because वो शायद हमें पता ही नहीं, हम खुद ही उसके टच में नहीं है. हम इंटेलिजेंस से बात करें और इंटेलिजेंस से आप एक्सपीरियंस को मुझे लगता है बहुत ज़्यादा कट नहीं कर सकते हो, क्योंकि वो इतने डीप रूटेड होते हैं ना, दे होल्ड यू. वाई आर पीपल नॉट एबल टू लीव नार्सिसिस्ट पार्टनर्स?
Because they are never shown a clear image in front of them. They are always in a state of confusion because of the mixed signals from their narcissistic partners. They sometimes will show love, sometimes they will show aggression, sometimes they will show concern, sometimes they will be quite abundant. And because of all these issues or these traits, I am always in a state of confusion. Hence, I am not able to decide whether I should leave my partner or stay with the partner.
So is it about you not being able to decide who this person is, the other person is? Are they that person who really loves me and shows so much love? Or are they this person who completely abandons me? Is it the confusion about them, or is it confusion about not knowing yourself enough to be in this relationship?
It is basically confusion about my own identity. I am lacking that kind of clarity in my life that I'm not able to take a stand or a decision. I know they are bad. I know everybody knows they are bad, but I'm not able to have that courage to take a stand and decide. Hence, I will draw out certain excuses to stay with the partner, and I will label them as hope, that I am hopeful they will change.
Now, as we're moving towards the end of this conversation, what is your final take on the idea of successful love and relationship?
See, where you can smile freely, where you can fight freely, where you can have disagreements freely, where you can have agreements freely, where there is freedom of expression. I know if I am angry, my partner will not judge me because he or she knows why I am angry, right? So this knowledge that I know my partner knows me. So this trust comes from freedom only. So the freedom to breathe, and when I can see that I am able to breathe as well. If there is lack of breath in this particular relationship, it means that is lacking the kind of love we are expecting it to have.
Are you able to exhale in your relationship?
Right.
If you're not able to exhale, you're always holding your breath and you're always on this hyper vigilant mode, then you need to ask deeper question to yourself and question your stand in this relationship probably. I think that's a great note for us to end this conversation and give people something to think about, something to sit with for maybe a few minutes, for maybe a few hours, or maybe for a few days to draft a personal answer for themselves. क्योंकि जो आपने कहा ना फ्रीडम होनी चाहिए, वो फ्रीडम आपकी लाइफ में कैसी दिखेगी और आपको कौन कौन सी चीज़ में कितनी फ्रीडम मैटर करती है, कितनी आप दे सकते हो, कितनी आप ले सकते हो, उसके साथ बैठ के उन थॉट्स के साथ बैठ के ही आप एक अपने लिए कस्टमाइज सोल्यूशन बना सकते हो. योर आइडिया ऑफ फ्रीडम कुड बी डिफरेंट देन माइन, राइट? योर आइडिया ऑफ अ रिलेशनशिप कुड बी डिफरेंट देन माइन. ठीक है, बॉटम लाइन सेम हो सकती है, लेकिन वो किस तरह से रोज़ की लाइफ में प्ले आउट करेगा, आप कैसे लव एक्सप्रेस करेंगे, मैं कैसे एक्सप्रेस करूँगी, मैं कैसे फील करूँगी, आप कैसे फील करेंगे, वो अलग हो सकता है. और वो अपने लिए कस्टम मेड कस्टमाइज सोल्यूशन खुद ही बनाना पड़ता है. एंड वो सोल्यूशन बैठ के कुछ दिन उस रियलाइजेशन के साथ होकर आता है. सो थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग मी फॉर दिस कॉन्वर्जेशन. आई हैड सच अ ग्रेट टाइम टॉकिंग टू यू. Thank you for watching this podcast. I really hope that this solved a few key questions for you about your relationship, especially if you're feeling that certain patterns are repeated with you, your partner, or you find yourself in an unhealthy relationship. तो आपको बहुत सारे आंसर इस कॉन्वर्जेशन के थ्रू मिले होंगे. Please use the comment section to share your experiences, your learnings and your insights with us. आई रीड ईच एंड एवरी कॉमेंट. और अगर आपके कोई सजेशंस हैं अगले एपिसोड्स के लिए, कुछ टॉपिक्स हैं जो आप देना चाहते हैं, कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं जो आप पूछना चाहते हैं, प्लीज़ पुट दैम इन द कॉमेंट्स. वी विल ट्राई टू इंक्लूड दोज इन द फ्यूचर एपिसोड्स. If you like what we are doing here at the Journey Within podcast, do subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon so that you get notified with our episodes. जब तक ये एपिसोड रिलीज़ होगा हम ऑलमोस्ट 200 एपिसोड्स पॉडकास्ट बना चुके हैं. तो प्लीज़ ब्राउज थ्रू आवर लिस्ट एंड सी व्हाट टॉपिक्स इंटरेस्ट यू एंड वॉच दोज कॉन्वर्जेशन. दीज आर एक्सपर्ट्स हु हैव स्पेंट years mastering their topics, and it will add to your life if you pay a heed. Thank you for watching this episode. I'll see you in the next one.